How y'all doing today? This is another episode of Leon and John
No
podcast.
doubt.
Hey, if you tuning in to this podcast, you on that right type of time, not on that other type of time.
Right.
And definitely, we here today. Hey,
What's
I got
up?
John.
How
Doing
you doing?
it.
How
Hey,
you doing?
hey. First and foremost, right? I mean, why you show up like
Listen,
that, right?
man.
Why you show
Listen,
up like
the
that? though?
funniest thing. I had a meeting that I had to go to over at the provost office. We down here at the Mike Ilitch School of Business, Wayne
Okay.
State University. Everybody know I'm a student. I had a meeting that I had to go to at the provost office, and another meeting I had to go through at Old Main. So I had to put it together today. Every once in a while, I put it together. So today I put it together and had to have my meetings and. We got this opportunity so we can go and get our job done today.
Hey, the big man on campus. You know what I mean? So
Nah,
I don't
man,
even
humble.
what I'm in
Humble.
Little State Hall. You know what I mean?
Right.
Over
Tell
there
them-
with
yeah,
the
tell them where you at.
sociology
You're right,
department.
the
you know what I mean?
sociology department.
This
You
the
running
big
it over
business.
there, though.
But look, but you got to have good
Yeah,
friends. You
you
got to
running
have
it over there.
accountants and lawyers. Right? I'm winning, y'all. You know what I mean?
Right.
So one of the things I wanted to talk about today, man, is for like justice impacted people that's returning back to society. It's a big thing about creating community
Right.
and relationships.
Absolutely.
When I think about relationships, it's like four main relationships that we really have: business relationships,
Right.
family relationships, friendships, and love relationships. As far as what you know with your experience about justice impacted people, what is the main relationship that really get justice impacted people in the most trouble?
I want to talk about the love relationship.
Love.
Because studies will show you that the domestic relationship sends you back to prison more times than any other situation. And by the domestic relationship, I mean the relationship of your love interest, whatever it
Okay.
is whoever it is that you're calling your significant other. I want to kind of dive into some of the things that guys go through, some of the things that guys experience with establishing and starting these relationships. One of the things that you always say is coming home from prison, you don't know nobody. You don't know nobody.
So you don't have no community.
No community, even within that relationship. So you're getting to learn everything, getting to learn everybody. And the big thing is you will pick the wrong relationships. Now you have an excellent take on some of the reasons why guys pick these wrong relationships.
This is not all the way foolproof, but it is a template.
Right.
It's 5 ways that you can really get to know somebody, but it takes a course of time. Can they keep a secret? How do they act around the opposite sex?
Right.
Right? How do they act with status? Like, how do they act when they got that perfect
they got that
job?
glow. Ain't no doubt.
When they got that
doing
money,
good,
when they
up.
doing good, right? But how do they act when they down?
Right.
And a big one is how do they act in love? And the thing for a justice impacted person just returning back to society, we really don't know those
You
things.
have no clue. And you have no clue, and a lot of times you have no point of reference. One of the things that we got to come to terms with and we got to start recognizing is when we're young, our relationships aren't based on I know this person real well or I've gotten to know this person real well. A lot of times it's based on this person had a little bit of money, this person was attractive, she was thick, the sex was good. It's those sorts of things right there that these relationships get based on. Guys go to prison with these as the foundation of
Right.
what their relationships were, and when they come home, it's the same thing. So you go out and you start picking women, and you start picking spouses, and you start picking relationships that are based on the wrong thing. You're not
Right.
basing them on the right thing.
You had the wrong idea. And especially, for people that went in when they're younger. And this, I know we talking about guys, we both guys.
This
right?
applies to women as much, if not more, than it applies to men, because a lot of times they're looking for the wrong thing. And then coming home, they're just looking for, a lot of times you're just looking for, like you said, someone to love you.
Yeah.
You're lonely. Sometimes you come home and you're lazy, like you say. What's
Right.
the other one? Tell them the 5 things that you do and get in a relationship.
So I told you 5 things of how you can get to know a person. And this
Right.
typically, if you got to go through this process, through 90 days to 6 months, but sometimes you don't know nobody for years. But while we coming out, basically, we're so naive, we like suckers. So it's 5 ways to be a sucker.
5 ways.
And I got this from P.T. Burnham, right?
P.T. Burnham?
P.T. Burnham. I was reading some P.T.
When
Burnham.
you first told me this, man, I say, yeah, that fit. That make all the sense in the world.
PT said a sucker is born every minute. So
Every
I was
minute.
reading it. I was like, what? I'm like, am I a sucker? Think about it. Greediness.
Yeah.
Ignorance. Desperation. Being in love. And being lazy.
You have to keep in mind that you're going to have fandom. You're going to have groupies. You're going to have women who aren't trying to be women in your life, who are just trying to be seen with the new thing.
What about them guys that been in the streets and you been gone a long time and you come back and they like in the wrong thing, but they want to take you out to go shopping.
Yeah.
They want to take you to the club.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, the beef that they have
Is yours.
is
now.
yours.
That's another relationship. That's the past the love relationship. You got those friendships.
Okay.
And you have to be mindful. We tell them all the time, you have to be mindful of the friendships that you forge.
Yeah.
You talking about guys that you grew up with, guys that you knew, guys that you jam with, guys that you cool with, guys that you know what they into, you know what their
Right.
lifestyle like. So when you decide to accept something from them, you accepting that lifestyle. You accepting what comes with that.
Yeah.
If you decide, man, we're gonna take you to the mall, we're gonna shop, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, you accepting whatever happens. You
Wow.
accepting whatever this grows into. And you have to be more intentional about your relationships and the situations that you place yourself in, the things that you accept, the things that you're willing to do, the things that you're willing to be around. You have to
Right.
be more mindful of those things especially with the friendship relationship, especially with the homies from the hood, especially
Yeah.
with the dudes you grew up with. You have to be more mindful of that because your life has to be structured in a way in which you're purposeful with how you're moving.
Justice impacted people are really all people because we live in a justice impacted society.
All of us know somebody.
Right. What are some things, like, in your opinion, that somebody that's waiting to come home, what should be some things they should be doing